Good evening, UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. This is your Wolf Commander Wolf 10. I'm your werewolf. We're doing a special anime spotlight tonight. And it's one anime that I watched in my younger years that I had the pleasure of seeing. And so far, I've shared it with many others who've watched it. And it's So Bianca. I'm here with the Schooner the Tuna, Schooner Tuna.
Hey, coming at you live from a secret government facility buried deep underground, but with excellent Wi-Fi. This is Schooner Tuna, and let me just say, up until a few days ago, I have not heard of Sobianka, but after watching this OVA, I'm like, holy smokes, this is uh, this is back to that '90s anime that I love so much. It's that,
Can I recommend them or can I
um,
recommend them?
oh yeah, you can recommend them. Definitely recommend them. It has everything. I mean, this is true progressive storytelling, not this half-ass shit that we're getting right now. But let's not sully the water with with a bad taste.
Joining us just now is the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all doing well this year in the summer. Or don't. Hopefully, you keep it cool, and not die of heat. But anyways, much like Skuna Tuna, I never heard of Soul Bianca. Like even like growing up in the '90s. As out of all the anime and manga that I've watched like during then and before. This was completely like out of my reach until Wolf showed it to me, and I gotta say, this is definitely peak '90s anime.
Now, let me explain to you how I came upon this anime years ago when I was a young wolf pup. This is around, again, this is one of those animes that I happened upon when it came down to cable networking. And
Mm-hmm.
on main channels like Showtime, Cinefx, and all that stuff, some of those channels would play anime during the evening time every once in a while, like here or there. Not necessarily in the midnight or anything like that. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But somewhere around 7 or 8, you'll get something like that. Just a random anime just intermingled within the movies that they play or the shows that they were building up to showcase on there. And Sobiaka was one of them, along with say the likes of Biohunter, Wicked City, even Vampire Hunter D, the original, not Bloodlust. Yeah, yeah, that one was always playing a lot. But like, man, oh man, and we'll be continuing this trend going forward in anime spotlight. I got a ton of anime that I've seen on network uh, w- cable network deep in my head that I'm still revisiting my brain that hopefully we'll find for you guys to watch and check out, shows included. But anyways, give me your guys impressions. Starting with you, Schooner.
Well, look, all right. Like I said, it's a typical sci-fi action adventure. Yes, most of the cast is all female, but do not let that dissuade you. These are actual characters and not just some cardboard cutout woke art, pushing an agenda. Okay, we got, and it's got a legitimate story and a believable goal. And I actually, I thought it was pretty freaking amazing how for an OVA that's only for like what 60 minutes long, they were able to cram just enough to leave you satisfied, yet leave so little that you're kind of craving more.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine how disappointed I was when I found out only two OVAs were produced because this was not a hit on its initial release. And I gotta say, this was a to any anime fans out there. This is a grave error that must be corrected right now. And that's all I have to say about that. Forrest Gump.
Dominic.
Nobody.
Well, You're not exactly wrong that this is a grave error that needs to be rectified if it's decided if if like the studio that was involved or a new studio like happens to come across this, they decide to revive Soul Bianca but turn it into a full length anime series. And when I looked it up, it says that there's only like only it's a 2 volume OVA. Yeah, when I looked up on YouTube there are 6 episodes for the first OVA. It does have a second OVA. It does have a second OVA. However, instead of it continuing what the first one left off, it's a complete reimagining of the first series. Uh, as for, however, as for but besides all that, the character, all the characters that the Soul Bianca crew, who yes, they happen to be female. However, this was written during a time where characters from where individuals from all walks of life were treated with respect in contrast with how they're being treated now by a majority of modern day creatives.
I
Exactly.
yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Fun. Sorry, Dominic. That this actually is a very diverse cast, and I know that word has been very muddied, but diverse in personality, not when it's just based on race
Skin
or
tone
skin tone. Exactly.
and who you
This is
fuck.
yeah, it's diversity of personality and quite fantastic. And I actually, when I was watching this online, one of the comments said that if this was remade today, it would be a massive hit. And I corrected this person because I said, I respectfully disagree. If this anime was remade today, especially with Western creatives in mind, every single character in here would be a lesbian and they would have massive hate boners for men, and there would be characters completely simping over these guys, and they wouldn't even be these ladies, and these ladies wouldn't even be doing half of the cool stuff that they would be doing in this anime.
Did
Well,
that person respond to you?
No, they did not, and if they did, I'm just going to ignore them because I didn't do this to start a fight. I was just stating what it was.
well, when, if it was, well, as mentioned earlier, if this series were to be revived and turned into a full on anime series, it will depend on the animation studio in Japan and who decides to do it, and also as for the localization from the translation team, while the studios now over there, the studios over there are now being extra cautious on who they're choosing to dub their series.
Oh yeah.
Do we want
So
to? Yeah,
yeah,
shall
should
we?
we get into the story proper?
Yeah, let's get into the story proper. Do you want me to do it, or do you want to do
You do it. You're better at this than I am.
it? You heard it all here, folks. Alrighty, alrighty. Okay, so in the future, mankind has colonized the stars. Rim, a stowaway on a transport ship, finds himself an unexpected guest aboard the Soul Bianca, a pirate ship consisting only of women. Desperate to get to Trace, Rim tells the crew that the planet that he is traveling to has the Gnosis, the ultimate treasure, rumored to be from a world long forgotten. Unfortunately, the Gnosis is on the planet Trace, and Trace is in the middle of a civil war led under the brutal Emperor Batros. Armed with an advanced spaceship, a sniper rifle, and a little bit of luck, the crew of the Sol Bianca make a mad dash to get the ultimate treasure. Pretty cool, huh?
Yep.
And the end scene. And that's pretty much what it is. Actually, that's shocking. That's really the story. It's really just a straightforward plot, and it's more about getting to know the characters as the plot advances. Y'all know they're motivated by money, but then slowly we peel back the layers and we realize, oh, if this is again, this came out in the '90s, so this wasn't so much Guardians of the Galaxy as it is today. You know,
Hmm.
the criminals with the heart of gold and all of that. That's been so overdone now. In the '90s, this was kind of still a new thing.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head right there. The fact that in fact the '90s was the bedrock for things turning for the good. Where
Mm-hmm.
hey, it's Big Al. Hello guys. Not kidding, Al. Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Big Al, thanks for stopping by.
It's Big Al, everybody. Go and subscribe to his channel, Big Al Presents. He does a lot of movie reviews, a lot of rewatches here and there. And he does it with friends. Films with friends, he calls it. Anyways, by the way, let me pull up his comment there. Anyways, so yeah, this was coming around the time where the nights were really like we were in that comfortable setting in the '90s where when you see women kicking dudes butts left and right, no matter what their size or their shape was, it was fun. We were in that fun section of that comfortable time. Seeing girls badmouth the dudes, what was fun to us.
Mm-hmm. It was fun. It was fun back then because it was not so much. It wasn't so much as, oh yeah, this is a guy and let's just rip on him. No, guys giving him shit and they're dishing it back at him.
Mm-hmm.
There's even like here's where I have to differentiate the description of what I'm talking about when the chicks roll with the guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So y'all remember that one commercial where Charlize Theron shows up the guys in such a way because she had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now imagine if you take that and put that in the '90s. It wouldn't be Charlize Theron going up to show the guys. No, she'll be going there to play with the guys,
Yeah.
to
Yep.
play with the boys. So she wouldn't be there to just to show them up and just walk away. She'll be there to play, and the commercial will end with a full shot of them playing pool together.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She shows up. She wants to say, she's hanging with the guys. They're actually being cool to her. And then you get this one guy who's walking over who doesn't know who she is and he's giving her crap. And she decides, all right, put your money where your mouth is. And of course, she schools them. And when that ends, she goes back to joining her pals.
Yep.
That's
That's a
how it would.
given.
That's a given, but that's how it was usually done. Okay, and
Hmm.
it wasn't just, oh, I am woman, hear me roar, or I need to destroy, I need to put another, uh, I need to bash another testicle and put it under my belt.
Which is which is really making me cry now because I miss those times where I just want to see a female just do something amazing. Don't say she's amazing. Have her do something amazing, and don't be. And when you do have her do something amazing, don't have her do something pretentiously amazing. Like
Yeah,
But
that's the
be
thing.
be great.
We've always asked,
Be graceful and elegant.
yeah, why can't we have normal characters again?
yeah,
Why?
because it's all about pushing the message,
Right? But
which is,
we like we
but
we
I
could we could
digress.
we could we could talk about that another time.
Let's start.
Let's get into the characters real quick. Let's start with the
Yeah.
characters.
Well, like I said, we what I love about our first character, Rim, he is a stowaway aboard a transport vessel, and he is definitely doesn't have a whole lot of personality. He's clearly the audience insert,
Mm-hmm.
but they give him a clear goal and a motivation. He wants to go to the planet Tress because that's where his dad and his mother are. And in the beginning, we don't really get a whole lot of information about that until later, but he's on board the stowaway ship, and I love this intro too. It's not so much a cold open as it is, okay, it's setting up, this is what to expect from this. You got your character, you got your destination, and then suddenly the transport vessel is under attack. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they're like going, there's a ship on radar, it just disappeared. Holy crap, there it is again. And they're like saying, what is this? Is that? And then they're going, oh dear God, it's the pirate ship. No! And they're of course attacked, and they say, Captain, we've lost our engine. And then suddenly the ship appears, the Sol Bianca. Can I just say the ship is a character in and of itself? That is
Mm-hmm.
a badass ship. Holy
Oh
smokes.
my goodness.
And not
And
just and not just
and
the
that's
way it,
another
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
and that's another aspect in entertainment that we're missing. A location, or even like even a vehicle is a character of itself as much as the main and supporting characters.
Oh yeah. And yeah, so the ship just appears, and I love this fact that the ship actually rams into the into the. It's not so much a transport vessel; it's a cargo ship. Rams into the cargo ship, the cargo transport, and they're immediately boarded. And this is where we get our main characters kicking some ass, and a lot of people would complain, women taking down people half their size. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. First and foremost, these ladies, our main characters, they're wearing some badass armor. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and that
which
armor
is in, which
is
is
some
enhancing their natural abilities.
exactly. And and what I love about this, they're taking down the crew, and they're the captain is like going, "Oh my gosh, we got to call for help!" And then, he's about to hit a button that's gonna send out a mayday, but then the pirate catches his hand, and she just goes, "You surrender, right?"
They
And
do their best not to kill the crew either.
that's another
Yeah,
thing
Establishing
and
too.
that's
establishing character moment there.
yeah,
Establishing
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Like in the first volume of Soul Bianca, they established they are an honorable pirate crew. Peru,
Mhm.
and one of their creeds is to not harm innocent people.
Mhm. So they take all the cargo off of the ship and they just leave the ship. They don't destroy the ship. Yeah, the ship is crippled, but it's they leave the life support alone, and even they even leave the radio functioning so they can call for help. And what I love is you got Rem, who's in one of those little cargo containers. He is scared. He is scared shitless. And the very next scene, you see the armored individuals walking out, and then suddenly, pop! There's our cast of characters, which is on the cover right here,
Yep.
and they're suddenly acting like they're back in their element, so they can stop being their little evil their little threatening, intimidating selves. They like go, woo! Now that was a job. How many they go, whoo, that was a job. And then one of them's complaining to the other one, like saying, you totally stepped on my line right back there. Oh, will you get off yourself? All right, let's see what we got. They open it up, and of course, so this actually is the perfect time to introduce the characters, all of them. We learn that the blonde that you guys see on the screen right here, that her name
April,
is April Bickirk.
Bicker.
Bickirk. The beautiful young lady sitting in the chair with a glass. That is Feb Fall. Very badass, by the way. And then we got right here the one who's sitting down on the floor in front of everybody. That right there is the Wolf's main girl, Janie
Mm-hmm.
Mann. The other lady in the dress right there, that is June Ashiel. Ashel, I think I may say that. And that adorable little girl who's sitting on top of the mech, well, that right there is May Jessica. And the young man right there is our audience insert. That is Rem. So as they're going, so obviously as they're going through all of the stuff, after they're going through all of the stuff that they had hijacked, uh, Janie and June are bickering at one another, and it's funny because they act
As per their characters,
as
they
per their
tend to fight with each other.
That's another thing I got to say here. When I say diversity of character, they're already setting up the archetypes of these characters. Okay, April is clearly the skilled ace pilot, the co-commander of the ship. Febfall is the captain. I'm sorry, Janie is the weapons expert. June is the tactics officer, and little and little May is the engineer.
Mm-hmm.
So we got our archetypes right here and there, and I love that. Okay, they establish already who they are, where their function is on the ship, and their social dynamic. It's clear that April is like the mother figure of all the girls. Febfall is kind of the quiet captain, the one who's overlooking all of it. Janie is like we said, the weapons expert, very gung ho, very tomboyish. June is the prissy little busybody. It's like, how
Mm-hmm.
dare you? I have everything set up perfectly. And May is clearly like the little sister of the whole group.
Hmm.
Obviously.
All done, and it's all done in a very succinct manner.
Hmm.
Thanks to the writer
Yeah.
Mayuri Sekijima.
Hmm. And they're going through, like I said, they're going through all the stuff, and they happen to run into Little Rem, and it's so adorable because they're going through all of the cargo. They find dresses, they find guns, they find jewelry, and they all say, "Wow, this cargo freighter really did have a little bit of everything." And of course, June is getting all upset because Janie found a. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Janie found a dress and June wants it, and little May is like going, "Hey, I wanted the dress too," and they're bickering and fighting, and then suddenly Rem falls out, and they all. I love how everybody goes dead silent when they see him, and it's April who goes, "Wow, this freighter really did have a little bit of everything."
Oh, it was
And so,
very laissez faire.
mhm. That's when and I believe that's when the scene actually cuts from them and it goes to the planet Trace. And
Right.
this is
Where
this is where we learn. This is where we're getting a lay of the land. Okay, this is where Rim wanted to go. Turns out Trace is in the midst of a war at this point, or an occupation.
mm-hmm.
Their neighboring planet Uno has decided that they wanted to has basically decided that they were going to come and take over the planet. They want the resources on the planet, and Rim's father is actually leading an underground resistance. Very cool. Well, he's one of the leaders. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he's one of the leaders of the underground resistance, and he's learning that while they're having a kind of difficulties with the resistance. It's not like, oh, we're on our last leg, we're nearly getting destroyed, but Emperor Bolton's crackdowns are starting to take effect on the morale, and we see too. I mean, the Emperor's a real a hole. He is a complete and total a hole. I hate that character more than anything. Emperor
Mm-hmm.
Batros, that was his name. Emperor Batros. He stages public executions in a large arena, much to the shouting and cheers of the crowd and all that stuff. But yeah, we get the whole. Yes, this is the evil. This is the archetype again. Here's our bad guy. It's none of those sob backstories. I have a tragic past, or I have a goal that is morally bad, but factually, wow, but logically it makes a whole lot of sense. Know what I mean? He's just no.
Yep.
We're not getting one of those. This is an archetypical bad guy.
He's even dressed in such a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually reminds me of another character like who carries that flair of being that the evil
Hmm.
emperor
Yeah.
from he actually reminds me so much of Snow of the
Oh, he wishes he was Snow.
Snow. We're talking Snow from Hunger Games.
Yep.
yeah
Princess
Okay.
Snow.
yeah
Yeah.
he reminds me of Snow. He reminds me of Snow of the Hunger Games series, but yeah, like Wolf said, he wishes he was Snow. No, because
Hmm.
like the difference between Snow and Batros Petros is we is what's with Petros, like he doesn't have a tragic backstory.
No.
And we may not, even though like information about his past is limited, when we know like so the information that was given to us so far like he is objectively a bad dude.
Mm-hmm.
Which comes to show like that not every villain, even heroes, it's not a requirement to have a tragic or sympathetic backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They just simply are.
They just simply are evil, and I think what I like about this is Batros is unapologetically evil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
and
So
mean,
yeah,
you want me to
modern
break it
creators.
down what he does throughout this whole movie?
yeah, he kind of just sits
Well,
there and just laughs maliciously, like "Hee, I'm
First,
and
bad."
and he also
first off,
and he
he
also he also orders
Hang
he
on, hang
also
on, Dom,
orders
Dom, Dom,
execution.
Dom, Dom. Hang on. Let Wolf say it. Let Wolf say it.
oh, well, we first established that he likes public executions,
Mm-hmm.
weird public executions to be exact. I mean, you still die from it, but I mean, you don't get your head chopped off, but you get your hands chopped off for sure. And he was chopping off anybody who was capitulating with the resistance. He has no qualms putting women in stasis and dressing them up with cloth and jewelry.
We got a front row seat, and we got a front row seat of that. And when we are shown Rim's mom in her current state,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
which
Yep.
shows
She's
which
not
just
dead.
it further established how
She's not dead.
no
She's in
no she's still
suspended animation.
which further established how much of a bastard that Charles is.
Mm-hmm. And I think they set it up perfectly in that first execution scene.
Yeah.
And then you see uh, Rim's
Refresh my
dad.
memory. How did they end up with Batros? Weren't they looking for something that they had possessed?
Yeah. I was actually going to get to that. When we cut back to Rim, he's back on board the ship. And I love this too. When they discover Rim, he's not in a cell. Okay, they didn't throw him in a cell. They instead decide to show us the beauty of the ship because it cuts right back to Fem. She's sitting in the garden area, just sitting down. They got sofas, a glass table. Very eight. Remember, this is the 90s, but it's got that very 80s aesthetic. You got a whole starlight view of the outside. She's sitting in a garden with trees. She's on a sofa, drinking some wine on a glass table. On the other side of the garden sits Rem and uh, little little May, and that's when April and Janie come over and they say, "What have you learned from him?" Rem hasn't said anything, and they're just all trying to say, "Look, kid, we just want to know
All but
what's."
one phrase though. Repeating,
Oh,
I gotta get the trays.
yep. Says, I haven't gotten anything from him. He says, my name is Rem. I got to get to Trace. My name is Rem. I got to get to Trace. And Jenny, I love this because this is a typical anime fashion. Janie comes over and just puts her fist on, like, gives him a noogie, like, puts it on his head, like saying, come on, can you tell us anything else? Come on, come on. And we get some more character. We get some more character out of them. We learn also that
Each
what
and
else do
every
we
one
learn?
has their own approach of interrogations.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. Each and every one of them has their own different approach at the interrogation. What's funny is that June was trying to be more diplomatic, all friendly. Janie was trying more of the stick. And
Act
May
up.
just yeah, May just did not care getting involved in this, and Feb didn't either. What I love about Feb is she's just kind of sitting there listening while drinking a glass of wine.
Well, she was being calm, cool, and collected during that whole interrogation scene.
Hmm.
Exactly. And and you know what?
Oh,
I love the.
glorious.
It was glorious. And I think the best one out of all of them is that April just decides to cut through the bullshit. She just says,
Yep.
all right, kid. She goes, all right, kid, listen up. You're either going to tell us or we're going to blow you out an airlock. And May is like going, "Oh, April, stop being so dramatic." And Janie, who was bad cop, is like saying, "Look, She's like, "Look, I'm a bad cop," and even that's going a little bit extreme. Rem still doesn't say anything, so April just decides, "All right, let's go." Grabs him, drags him all the way to the airlock, throws him out there, pushes the buttons, initiates the countdown, saying, "I hope you enjoyed the vacuum of space, kid, because this is gonna be one hell of a show for you." And
Oh
as
yeah.
the airlock is counting down, the kid is like screaming, "No, please let me out, please, please, please." And it's Feb who comes in and says, "All right, April, I knew you were cruel, but come on, this is bordering on abuse," and opens the door and lets him back in. I love it. I love it. And that's when Rem decides to spill the beans. He goes, "I'm from the planet. I need to get to the planet Trace. My family's there. I just need to get back home." And they're all saying, "Oh, okay." And they go like going, "Trace, what's Trace?" And May gives the whole exposition dump of the backstory that Uno and Trace, which by the way, that's those names kill me. Oh, really? Uno, Trace. What happened to Dos?
Hmm.
What happened to Dos? What
we
happened
may
to Dos?
we may never know.
We will never know what happened to Dos.
Maybe they dodged. Maybe maybe we'll find out when we get to the end how Uno dodges that bullet.
So that's when May gives the whole exposition dump as like, "Oh, Uno Trace, they were sister planets and now they're engaged in a bit of a civil war here and all that kind of jazz." And that's when June says, "Well, we can certainly drop him off. It's on the way." And April is and what I love about April, because this is setting up a change for her character later. April is like going, "Absolutely not. There is no reason for us to go. There is no incentive for us to go. Don't you remember? We're wanted criminals, okay? We're not a transport service. So if we're going to take this kid to Trace, it better be worth our while." And that's when Rem drops the bomb. He goes, "Well, on the planet Trace, we discovered something, a treasure." And they're like saying, "A treasure? Oh, please, kid, that's a desperate pull. What kind of a treasure?" He says, "We found the Gnosa." And that's when everybody just stops. And May just goes, not May, I'm sorry. June is like going, "The Gnosa? What's the Gnosa?" And this is where we basically find out what the Gnosa is. Anybody want to
The MacGuffin.
the MacGuffin plot, exactly. That supposedly anybody who possesses the power of the Gnosa can rewrite the fabric of it's a legend. It's a gift. It's a big treasure, but it's rumored to have anybody who has the Gnosa can rewrite the universe itself, essentially making themselves into a god. And they're all just going, "Imagine what we could do with the treasure like that." Okie dokie. So we're heading over to Trace. We're gonna drop him off. And that's when the plot really, and that's, you know, the next plot is just them entering Trace's atmosphere. Uh, but of course, Trace, what was it? The Emperor's forces intercept them almost immediately. So the ship has to say, "Well, what are we going to do? They got our ship locked on." And that's when Fem says, "Okay, so April, May, Janie, you're all gonna take little Rem in the shuttle while we're gonna distract them and head and get the heck out of Dodge." And they're like going, "Oh, we have to do this babysitting?" And of course, they just say, "Let's go, let's go." That funny little shenanigans. So the shuttlecraft deploys and the ship jumps out of hyperdrive. And of course, the Emperor is like going, "What the hell is going on? What the hell kind of ship does that?"
Right.
And they learn from the records that this is the legendary ship known as the Soul Bianca, a ship that can they say the Soul Bianca, and they go, "The ship that can literally fold space, that can fold in and out of space, get from one place to the next, um, like super fast. It's a very valuable ship, badass ship." And he says, "Oh my gosh, and we lost it?" And they said, "Yes, but before the ship left our orbit, a shuttlecraft did deploy." And he says, "And where did it land?" "Oh, you'll be happy to hear this." So then, of course, April, May, and Jaina. Is it Janie or Jenna?
Janny.
Jenny. Jenny land in the shuttle, and they're captured almost immediately. And when they're captured immediately, they're taken to Emperor Batros, who says, "Okay, first and foremost,
Sup, Rat?
hey, Rhett's here, yay!
Got 5 people watching so far.
We
Hopefully.
got 5." I'm just getting to the point. Yeah, I'm at the point right now, Rhett, where Emperor Batros has brought April, May, and Jenny
We're in
into.
the 35-minute mark. I guess I will pull out this tidbit. Have you noticed that their names are the months of the year?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All except.
January, January,
Mm-hmm.
February. There's no March, but there is an April and a
Mm-hmm.
May and a June.
Yep. I did find that pretty funny. And the soul Bianca, soul actually means sun.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was pretty cool. So of course they're brought before the emperor, and the emperor says that Rem is basically already a prisoner, so he's going to be staying with them for the foreseeable future. But he says to the ladies, where's that ship? I really do like that ship of yours, so I'm willing to actually forestall your executions indefinitely if you just tell me where the ship is.
I almost drew a sigh when freaking June was just bobbing around when they start firing at him.
Oh yeah,
That had me cracking up, but at the same time, just sign like, "Girl, won't get your ass on the ground."
that is, yeah. When they're just about to get captured, there's a big, huge. I think. Can I also just say that that was freaking amazing? Right when the spotlights activate, April turns right around and starts shooting her gun like boom, boom, boom,
Yep,
boom, boom, boom,
yep.
boom. Headshot, boom, headshot, boom, headshot. I'm like, damn, she's like quick draw McGraw right there. Boom.
Even Jane's not no slouch either. She just
Yep.
capping and capping.
They're just capping and capping and capping, and I think that's what's funny is that, and that's what I also like about this universe that they're in, especially space pirates. Yes, the whole they don't even give you a warning. They shoot first and ask questions later.
Mm-hmm.
There
Yep.
was, yeah,
Let's fast forward real quick when they
yeah,
brought to Bosk.
yeah,
Now, normally, if this was a woke production, freaking April will be mouthing off him constantly, not even giving him the final word or anything like that. And she'll talk about his manhood and talk about the patriarchy and all that stuff in front of him. And he'll just look at her, laugh at her, and all that stuff. But the thing is that this is an interesting take between two of the forces. There's no mentioning of dominance or anything like that. Hell, he only loses his shit. I think he only loses his shit and just cuts her face
yeah,
with his laser sword
yeah.
for her impudence. I
Mm-hmm.
believe.
Well, and that's the thing that's the, yeah, because he tells them that he wants their ship and he's actually offering incentives. He says, one, I'm not going to execute you, and two, I know you guys are space pirates, so I can give you treasure. And this is when he activates his little throne room and you see the treasure room.
And that's where
And
Rim runs up
this
to his mother.
this is where we see exactly Rim run up, sees his mother, and it's the ladies who are all in the hibernation or whatever, and he's got the ladies first off frozen in place, and then he's got them decked out like sheets, and he's got almost something like Egyptian, almost not Egyptian, but some kind of I don't know, I can't describe it. But he's got them decked out. Rem runs over to his mom. He gives her a hug, saying, "I knew you were here, Mom. That's why I know you and Dad told me not to come here, but I had to come here to help you. I wasn't going to leave you behind." And that's where we find out why Rem is coming to Trace in the first place. He wants to get his mom and dad back.
Hmm.
And I mean, it's heartwarming, but at the same time, it's tragic because they all see what's become of the ladies here, and that's terrifying. And that's exactly when the emperor says to him, hey, surely ladies and he even says, I'll give you the treasure if you want it, All you have to do is just give up your ship. I'm sure a group of skillful young ladies like yourselves can find a way off this planet. Just go. He's basically saying, take the money and walk away. That's what he's telling him. That's all he's telling him. Take the money and walk.
Not your business. Take the money. Forget that this all this happened.
Yeah, you got he, and he even says too, because he even says flat out that Rim's father is rebelling against him, and if he has Rim as his hostage, he'll be able to cowtail his father into submission. You ladies, unfortunately, got pulled into a conflict here, so just take the money, walk away. Just give me your ship. I like your ship, and the reason why I like your ship is if I have it, it'll give me an advantage in this fight. So give me the ship. I'll end this fight as fast as I possibly can. You all take the money and go live out your lives in some little paradise. And of course, I love this too. April fires back with, wow, that is a great offer. In fact, anybody would be stupid enough not to take it. But she says, but everything you just said and the manner in which you said it made my skin crawl to the bone.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't look like a man who would actually keep his word. And we've heard about you. So no, we're not going to rise to that bait. He says, and that's when he starts losing his cool. He says, "You refuse me? I'm going to throw you guys in the if you don't give me what I want." He says, "All right, well there goes the stick. So how about there was the carrot. So how about the stick? If you don't give me what I want, I'm going to throw you guys into the arena and you're going to be executed in the most painful ways imaginable." And April, not missing a beat, says, "I would rather walk into the arena and face execution than have to sit here and listen to you talk."
It's the traditional badass hero that just mouthing off to the villain and just really not buying their bullshit for one, and also not buying not being intimidating to
Not
the
yeah,
hero. More like
exactly.
being bored by the villain, being essentially the villain.
Yeah, it's been, and but what I love about the scene too is also the way April is saying, "Don't bullshit a bullshitter. I'm a space pirate, okay? I cheat, I steal for a living, okay? I lie and all this kind of stuff. I can spot a liar, and you are a liar, sir."
Of course, they get thrown in the cell, of course, and
Oh, but no,
but
not before the emperor just gets saying, "You disrespectful little whelp," and and they do try to fight him, but of course the guards keep him back. But he goes right for April, and with a laser sword, I think George Lucas is going to sue somebody. Cuts her in the face. He cuts April's face and just gets a sick satisfaction from it. He smiles and he says, "Throw them all in the brig." And right at that moment, we cut back to the Soul Bianca. I know, he's a total dick. We cut back to the Soul Bianca that actually has not left traces the planet's orbit yet. It's actually sitting in one of their satellites, actually perfectly hiding. And it's funny because Feb is saying, I think it's hilarious because Feb is in the middle of zero G. Because throughout this whole episode, Feb has kind of been drinking her alcohol, has been drinking wine, and all of them have been remarking, "Feb, is it really a good idea to be drinking wine before we're about to go into a heavily fortified blockade?" And she says, "Why, I'm celebrating. We're about to get the greatest treasure of all." So love that bitch. She's in zero G. She's getting motion sickness, and she's saying, "May, are you go?" No, she says, "June, are you gonna fix the engine yet?" And June's like, "Sorry, won't have the artificial gravity fixed until about a half hour. You're just gonna have to deal with it."
no, it's May. You had it right
You're
the
right.
first time.
Yeah, all right. Sorry about that. May, are we gonna? Yeah, and May is like going, "Nope." June is and Feb. Sorry, I'm getting the names mixed up. Dang, it's not even an hour yet. Good lord.
You're not even drinking. What's wrong
I
with you?
know. I'm not even drinking. I'm getting so excited. I like this anime.
All right.
I'm getting excited and I'm mispronouncing names. But it turns out the Sol Bianca has not left orbit. It's actually waiting there, and they're repairing their ship due to the damage from the blockade. And then we cut back to them in the cells. And I love the fact that what was it? June is just yelling her head off on the
Yep.
communicator. She is
Just trying to get their attention.
She is screaming. She's losing her shit. She's like going, Fab! Bianca! So Bianca, answer! They're going to execute us! And I love the fact that both April and JD are just sitting there perfectly relaxed. Actually, JD's a little bit annoyed, like going, "For God's sakes, June, give it a rest. You're annoying the hell out of me."
that was my reaction too.
I know.
Feel like I was like waiting. Like, okay, all right. So when's the rest? So when's the rest gonna commence? Well, February was like taking her sweet time to like waiting for that right moment to rescue April and the others from being executed.
And I think and I think what's great about this entire scene, though, is actually is um, the moment that they have is the moment that April is with Rem. Rem actually says, "I'm sorry, I misled you guys. I didn't." He says, "I'm sorry that I misled you guys. I needed to get to Trace because I needed to rescue my mom and my
I'll
parents
be
and
right
all that."
back.
And he says, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry about all this." And April's like telling him, "Hey, you know what? Don't worry about it. I totally get it. I understand. Your motives were your motives were your motives were pure, and I'm not going to fault you for that." And I think what's great, she even says, "We may have come here for different reasons, but I'll make you a solemn oath. We're going to save your mom. I promise, Rem." And Rem is like going, "You can't. We're trapped here." And I think this is the moment. I want Wolf to come back for this because I love this line that April says. It's a beautiful line. Dominic, what do you think? What do you think so far of the anime that I've been describing?
Hey, hey, man, I was enjoying the ride right from beginning to end. And
Who's
like,
your favorite? Who was your favorite character?
well, considering we only watched well the first, or really the first volume.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to. It's a tie between April and huh. It's a tie. It's a tie between April and Janny.
April and Janny. What did
Yeah.
you like about? Did you like their designs, or did you like
Oh
their
yeah.
their designs more, or their personalities?
Well, their personality, which complements their designs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but April, like she is the ace, and she is the ace pilot, and she is known to be headstrong. But also she is she is honorable, cause like the rest of the Soul Bianca crew, they may be pirates, but they're not ruthless or malicious.
Yeah. Hey, Star Storyteller, good to see you. Thanks for
Hey,
coming.
welcome.
This is actually a pretty good.
It's in my list of recommends of obscure
Mm-hmm.
anime.
Oh, excellent. Wolf is back. Great. Okay. Um, so we're at the
What?
part where
Wait, did you guys get lost without me?
no. I
No.
didn't want to. I didn't want to share my favorite line with until you were here. I needed to. It's a great line
Go
in the
ahead.
show. So this is after Rem has said that he was sorry that he got all of them captured and that he feels that it's his fault. And April is like saying, "No. We get it. We get why you lied to us. I mean, you were here to save your parents. You did the wrong thing for the right reasons, and I totally get it." And she says, "We may have come here for different reasons, but I'll make you a solemn oath. We're gonna save your mom. We're gonna beat the shit out of the bad guy, and everything's gonna be okay." And he doesn't believe it. He's like saying, "I don't. I think we're all going to die." And she says, "Listen to me, Rem. If you truly believe in the dreams that in the dreams that you hold in your hearts, and use your eyes to see, your course will be swift and true. Can you believe?" I don't know why, but that line just kind of stuck with me.
Nice.
Yeah, me
And
too.
she says, "Can you believe?" And Rem just nods his head, and he says, "I do believe." And it's great because right at that moment when he says, "I do believe," but who should call Feb on the communique and says, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And June's like going, June just jumps up and goes, "Feb, we've been captured. We're gonna be executed. You gotta get us out of here."
Yeah, she was going a little stir crazy in herself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh goodness, man.
I mean,
Let's get
look,
to the execution part.
Yeah, and that's when Feb says, "Well, kind of a problem. We're in the middle of repairs right now, so we probably won't be able to rescue you until maybe tomorrow." And she's like going, before June can even freak out, that's when April goes, "Perfect. It's going to be the perfect time." And Janie's like going, "Yeah, exactly. It's the perfect time. We're going to be ready for you." And so the next morning rolls around, and this is the execution. The execution's coming. It's in the arena in front of everybody. All the world can see. And this is where Feb becomes my favorite character. I mean, yes, April has kind of been taking the spotlight here, but there was a reason why I liked Feb. She was the calm, like Dominic said earlier, the calm, calculating type. But this is where she's really kicking some serious ass. She's out, so they're in high orbit, okay? And I love this. She's outside in a spacesuit with a sniper rifle
That was
pointed.
established earlier in
Yep,
the start of the movie.
that was established
yeah,
earlier at the start of the movie.
which was, if I may add, a very effective use of Chekhov's gun.
Mm-hmm. A beautiful
Even
use of it.
Janny even talked about it.
Yep, even Janie talked about it, which was freaking awesome. So Feb is in high orbit with a sniper rifle, waiting patiently, because it turns out the arena it gives her a bird's eye view. So obviously the only
More
limitation
than
of
a bird's eye view.
the sniper rifle is that it can only look straight down. That's all. That's the one drawback. They're so high from the orbit of the planet, the sniper rifle can only look straight down. So they got to get into an open area if this is going to work, which it does work, by the way, because they're
Stop the
walking.
credits real quick, guys.
Yep, yep.
We have the lovely. Ooh, wow! I flubbed up again. We have the lovely Lady of Valor, Leia plus size.
Good evening, everyone. How's it going?
It's going great, Leia. Hello.
That was
Good
doing,
to see
that was
Hello.
you.
doing well. How about yourself?
I am doing very well. I am doing very well. I didn't want to interrupt your conversation about the film, so please continue. I just estimated. I don't know how long you've been. Oh, about an hour. Okay. So to continue, and I will just listen to you as you talk about this anime. But I'm glad that you're all doing good and sounds interesting.
It is an interesting anime. In fact, we were just getting to the best part.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
we'll continue. You got a conversation going, so just go right ahead and keep rolling.
Leia, you're gonna love this, okay? Because you're talking about how you're a big sci-fi fan, okay? This defies any law of physics, but you are so far into the anime that your suspension of disbelief is like, I don't care, it looks amazing.
Coming
So
from
The
you,
thing about
Stephanie.
so, but
So our heroes. So here's how it goes. Our heroes are about to be executed, but their ship and the ship's captain is in high orbit above the planet, and the captain is looking at the surface of the planet with a sniper. She's in a spacesuit. She has a sniper rifle, and she's looking straight down at the planet. And of course, the sniper rifle scope has like near perfect. It can enhance to the planet's surface. So it's like. Think of Enemy of the State, okay? You know how they were able to look down on Enemy of the State and basically see the people running?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what this sniper rifle can do. So the heroes are in an open arena about to get executed when suddenly the executioner is shot by a sniper rifle from high orbit.
Oh,
I'm just
wow.
freaking amazing. And this is what made Feb the badass character.
Oh yeah, I love that scene.
Yeah.
especially the music that accompany with it too.
Oh yeah. So they shoot the sniper rifle, and the characters are able. April, Janie, and is it June or is it May?
June.
June. Thank you. So yes. By the way, all the main. You're gonna love this too, Leia. All the main characters are named after a month of the year.
Cute.
Yeah. So April gets free, grabs an axe, starts kicking some serious ass, frees June and frees Janie, and they're like making a run for it. And they're making a run for it. They get in one of the escape vehicles. A chase ensues, and they're all flying around. And April's like going, "Wait, why are you heading back to the shuttle? We need to go back and get Rem." And I love JD is like going, "Well, I didn't think you cared about him." And April's like going, "We're not leaving Rem. We are not leaving him." And they're like going, "Well, look, we're going to have to come back and save him later because we got to focus on us right now. We got to get to our shuttle, got to get off the planet and go rejoin the Sol Bianca." So after the big high-speed chase, which has some great comedic gags and some fantastic action effects, they're able to escape, and they go back to the Sol Bianca. And it's right at that moment where we...
Okay. Now I gotta really excuse me. I gotta share this with you guys.
Yeah.
No, don't you do that. Thank you. Don't you play a fucking ad when I try to play a song.
Oh, yeah. This is the song that's playing while they're escaping.
Cool. Well, that sounds cool.
Brian will be right at home with this music because this is so Mega Man. God, man, when that when that song kicked in, my goosebumps start popping up, man. I was like, yes. Oh my goodness. If there's any reason why you want to watch this movie, it's because of that song. They play a song twice in the movie.
I think it's also pretty hilarious too that when they're on the I guess you could call it a high speeder where they're flying around trying to avoid the Emperor's guys. That's when June tries to get to the front of the plane and it kills because Janie's driving. And Meg tries to get to the front of the speeder, and of course she pulls on the accelerator, and they go flying high up into the sky.
It syncs in with the music too.
It syncs with the music so well, but what's funny is that May ends up falling into the cockpit, and her face ends up right where the pedals are, and Janie's like kicking her head, is like going, "Hit the brakes! Hit the brakes!"
Surprisingly, they were able to escape that way.
Yep. Because her whole face is covering the pedal, so of course Janie's just stomping on her face, saying, "Hit the brakes! Hit the brakes!" And she's
but
like,
of course, the pursuit had to be postponed because the resistance enacted their attack. We did get a brief shot of Rem's father playing the attack.
Yep, it actually happened.
Went to attack.
Yep, it actually happened after their escape. They said that something's going on over in the Imperial Palace right now. They're distracted by something, and that's when Rem's father says that this is the opportunity for them to go and escape. This is the opportunity for them to make their move.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they do it. They start to, all right, get all of our troops ready, and the final assault has begun. And of course, right when April, Janie, and June make it back to the Sol Bianca, they're starting to fly away, and April's like going, what the heck do you mean we're not going back? And Fem says, well, first off, the city, the planet Trace. Well, it turns out that all hell's broken loose down there. They've attacked their guards and they've retaken the planet, and now they're pushing for a major assault. So that means that the full force of Uno is going to be on Trace in a few minutes. So we can't go back there. It's like a hot mess.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And April's like going, we can't. What about Rem? We can't leave Rem. Janie, of course, is like going, well, you know what? What about Rem? And of course, June is like going, yeah, we can't do anything for him. And Feb is great in this scene because she says, where's the incentive? What's in it for us? Nothing. There's nothing here for us. And April's like going, well, what about Rem? We're going to just leave him there to his fate. Come on, we got to think tactfully here. We got to think. And Feb says my favorite line here. Emotions make lousy tactical advisors. And as dark and evil as it is, Feb is 100% right. They have no plan. And if they go back, it would pretty much be suicide. And that's when they decide, well, wait, and I love that bit. This next bit that's coming up, because that's right when April decides to armor up and she's going to go all by herself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She armors up. She's going to go all by herself. She gets that cool badass blade of hers. Gets that cool badass blade. And then right when she enters the shuttle area, oh, look at that. It's the entire crew and they're all suited up.
Yep. Hello, Dad. Hello, Ma, on your cherry bomb. Hello, world.
They're all basically all suited up, and they're like saying, geez, April, it took you literally hours to get down here. What were you doing? I love it, too. And they're like saying, oh, my gosh, you're all coming with me to rescue Rem. And Feb goes, of course. And you also told us about that giant treasure trove that he had, that the Emperor has in his room, treasure room. So, of course, they're all making it sound like, yeah, we're going after the treasure, but really they all want to go rescue Rem.
Yeah.
So, of course, we come back. Big final battle is happening in space between the Emperor.
Tears ass through inside their docking bay.
Exactly. So the final battle is, of course, happening between the planet Trace and Uno in space. Very cool stuff. And the Soul Bianca is just tearing, yeah, like Wolf said, is just tearing, kicking ass and taking no names.
Freaking lasers that bent around and like a wire and stuff, cutting up shit. Got freaking missiles and all that stuff. Got freaking subspace bending and folding space and shit, cutting up everybody, doing that shit too. I mean, and that ain't half of. That's only like the bare minimum of what it can do. We're getting to that, folks. Trust me.
And the Emperor is
getting to that.
And the Emperor, while he's freaking out, he's still at the same time is marveling at the ship. He's like, that's why I wanted that ship. That's my desire. The ship is like an ultimate. This ship could take an armada. That ship could take an armada.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he wants it so bad. But it's funny because they say, I want that ship. Get it right now. We can't, sir. What? Why not? Because it's coming right at us. And that's when the ship crashes inside, and that's where our characters are all going their separate ways. April is going. Let's see. April and Janie are together, tearing through a whole bunch of stuff. I think it's May. No, is it May who goes to rescue Rem?
Yep.
In that giant mech suit she's got.
Yep.
Yep. You're correct.
Yep. She goes to rescue Rem in the mech suit, and they're all just, and this is where we get just like the ultimate badass moment. They're cutting through guards, they're using their armor, they're doing karate moves like hoo-ha. I love watching how each of them fight. And you're watching the main crew, and you're like thinking, where the heck is Feb throughout all of this? Feb is in the treasure room.
Because
She made her way to the treasure room. She's made her way to the treasure room, and she's walking over to all the ladies. Like, I guess they're like the Emperor's collectibles, basically. He's
Mhm.
like, if you don't know, the Emperor takes these women that he treasures and he basically puts them in a state of suspended animation, freezing them,
Like
and
mannequins
then
wearing jewelry and cloth.
he puts them in jewelry and cloth like they're his personal dolls.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So
Yep.
Feb is in the
That's pretty cool.
Feb, the captain, is in the treasure room, and she's walking up to the ladies, and you think like she's gonna say, "Oh my God, this is so horrific." She walks right up to one of the ladies and just takes one of the jewelries and just goes, "Oh my gosh, this is so pretty."
That
So
she
is this
did.
this evil
Maurice-
emperor that collects people? Is he the emperor is the bad guy? Is
Yeah.
that what the bad guy thinks? Okay.
Yeah, that's what we love
Evil
about
for
this
evil's
guy.
sake.
He is deliciously evil. He is not some my tragic backstory and that kind of jazz. He's just villainous to be villainous.
Okay, since Star decided to bring that up, double time.
Yep, that's the music that's playing while they're raiding through the ship.
God, I love old school synthwave music, man.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get no better shit like that these days.
No,
I swear, man.
that's a
You're not wrong.
that's a carryover from the 80s.
Oh my
Huh?
goodness, man! Like that, hearing that music just takes me back to the Mega Man's, especially the Mega Man X's,
Mm-hmm.
to any JRPG of the PS2 era. Hell, dare I say it? Ace Combat series,
Ooh, Ace Combat.
starting with 4, specifically Ace Combat 4. Goodness gracious, man! Just I cannot wish to go back through time because then I wouldn't meet you guys. And meeting you guys is a treasure.
Well, you know what? It's great that we're finding it now. I mean, yes, you found it back then, but now that we're finding it now, especially since we're all just so thirsty for new content. Not new content, more thirsty for the traditional style of storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Because Leia, as we said earlier in the podcast, yes, this is an all-female pirate crew, but this is true diversity, not skin tone, but diversity of personality
Diversity of thought as well.
and diversity of thought as well. You got the main crew, obviously, but you got the cool, collected captain. You got the ace. You got the ace skill second in command. You got the weapons expert. You got the tactician, and you have the engineer. And they fit these archetypes beautifully, but they also are juxtaposed perfectly by their differing personality.
Oh, you ain't getting no CW drama over in this show here. Hell no.
No.
They just constantly argue about the same old shit every fucking episode.
Mm-hmm. And you could definitely see the the real bond between them. It's not some surface level, oh, you're my best friend. Yeah, you're my best friend too. We're going to be best friends. Yay, kumbaya. No. These are people who have been living together for quite a long time and know how to get under the other's skin.
Mm-hmm. And also get on the skins of other people as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. But you can tell, despite the fact that they bicker and jab at one another, Feb and April clearly are in command of this group. Mostly April. Because April everybody respects April, even Feb. And that's another thing too. You get their personalities and their dynamics so fluidly and so organically. It's not stale.
Oh,
I
and
don't
April gets her revenge.
Exactly. Yeah, we're getting to that. So what they're doing is, yes, they're getting the treasure, but all of the hostages that have been taken by the Emperor, they're setting them free. They're boarding them all onto the ship, the Soul Bianca, and right as soon, I love it because Janie and April are fighting everybody, and the minute they hear from May that April says, May, do you have Rem? And they say, yes, I have Rem. We're going back to the ship. Feb says, we got the treasure. It's on the ship. Janie says, let's go. Let's get out of here. And April says, not quite yet. And so she breaks up from the group and she goes to the Emperor's room. And the Emperor's guards are all there. She's flying that super advanced ship of hers, kicking some serious ass. The Emperor is now, all of his guards are gone. The Emperor's shitting his pants because April is walking right up to him. He's shitting his pants.
Dr. Robotnik.
Yep, he's like, please don't kill me. You want the treasure? You can take the treasure. Ah! Which, but can I also say that the English dub voice acting is great here. But what does April do? She walks right up to him, and with her laser blade that she has, she cuts the side of the Emperor's face and says, that was for cutting my face earlier. And just walks off. That's it. I'm like, April, you're a badass. April's amazing. Anybody else want to weigh in here? No? Okay, we're moving on. So April cuts the side of his face, but not only does she cut the side of his face, she says to him, if you don't want to die, I recommend you get off your ship right now. And then just leaves. She gets back on the ship. She's rejoined with Rem. Everybody's singing Kumbaya, hugging each other and saying, yay, it's good to see you all again.
And the motherfucker wouldn't let shit go, so he activates his super weapon.
The Emperor walks to the control room, pushing past his dead guards, who have been loyal to him throughout this entire OVA, by the way. Just shows how evil he is. And he starts activating the ultimate weapon. This is like his be-all, end-all weapon, and he isn't even aiming it at the enemy fleet that's clearly overrunning his fleet. He's aiming it at the Sol Bianca. He's saying, you took everything away from me. I'm going to take everything away from you. You humiliated me. Now you're going to die. He fires the main weapon, and what does the Sol Bianca do? It says, bitch, please. And fires its primary weapon right back. Because the Sol Bianca just absorbs that laser blast and then redirects it right back at the Emperor's ship. And of course the Emperor's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the big old think again, punk.
I know. It's like, think again, right back at you. And the Emperor's like, no! It's like the traditional bad guy. No! So he's wiped off the face of the map, and it ends right with Rem back on Trace with his mom and dad, with his in his dad's arms, and his mom now fully revived. Everybody, all of the hostages have been returned. And I love the fact that Rem says, dear diary, dear journal, so-and-so calendar year, I've decided what I wanted to be. I want to be a space pirate. I'm sure mom... I love that. He says, I'm sure mom and dad will be a little upset by this news, but at the very least, I'm going to try to be a space captain. At least then I'll have a chance to see the Sol Bianca again with all of my...
He want to be part of the Sol Bianca. I was like, not in your life, kid.
Not in your life, kid. But he says at the very least, I'll try to be a captain so he has a chance of running into the Sol Bianca again.
Yeah.
And I love it too because this is great. The Sol Bianca has has all the treasure of the Emperor. Oh, and they actually do find the Gnosis, the big MacGuffin of the whole thing. They're like saying
that doesn't even factor into the plot.
No, it doesn't. But I love how they actually say they got the treasure and they say, unbelievable that Rem's story actually turned out to be right. So and one of them saying, see, I knew the kid was a good investment. And of course they're like going, what? Since when? You wanted to ditch him when he first showed up. So anyway, and you're going to love this, okay? So the Gnosis, the MacGuffin of this plot, is actually a laser disc. And shocking twist, It's the laser disc from the Voyager. That's right. The Voyager that went off into space to meet, any sort of intelligent life out there with the full details of the planet Earth. So they
I did
play the
not
laser.
catch that.
Yep, I caught that.
I caught it too, and it just put a big old smile to my face to see the first volume end on that note.
Yep. And it's great too. And they're like going, wait a minute, this is the Gnosis, the great power. And they say supposedly it was a detailed document of a world where we all came from, our inheritance. And they say our inheritance, and they start and this is great. They play the laser disc and it shows full details of Earth in the 1980s because that's when the Voyager was launched. It
Hmm.
could, and they're showing old school New York, Nintendo, the landscapes of the whole of the world that once was, and I love the look. Everyone on the Soul Bianca went from soul disappointment to when they were seeing the imagery to like pure bliss. They're like going,
Hmm.
"Wow, beautiful." Magnificent. And I'm like, that is how you end an OVA.
Hmm.
And it was beautiful. And that's really how it ends. The people of the Soul Bianca get a great treasure, and now they're going off on a new adventure.
I mean, it still
Yeah,
got jewels and clothes and all that stuff,
Oh,
but
yeah, of course. They
that
got what
yeah,
they wanted.
that one treasure was just the one treasure.
And that was the thing. It was like that was the treasure that beat all others.
yeah. Essentially, learning the past. The past before. Well, even though we don't know what the current state of Earth like in the future of Soul Bianca, but it is heartwarming to see the crew like watch the laser disc from the Voyager to at least like recall like what life was like back then.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because like to this day, like the void the laser disc from the Voyager, like it's still up there in space, and well, we don't know like who may have like went into it, but it was. But what I appreciate about the ending of Volume One of Soul Bianca, like it gives us a possible answer on what happened to the disc.
Hmm. And who knows? Maybe in the future, space pirates from Earth will get their hands on the Voyager 6 disc. Yeah, we could always hope.
We can
Yeah,
only hope.
you know what they say like science, like things that turned out to be like fiction and pure imagination, they turn they may not be so far fetched.
Exactly.
So that was Soul Bianca, everybody. Like we
I'm
said
glad.
earlier, there's a second OVA, and there is a remake into a series, which we will not be covering anytime soon. I may go back on that. Who knows? But at this point, I just want to talk about this lovely gem of mine.
So 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 remind us again what channel. What was the name of the channel that you discovered, Soul Bianca?
It was either Showtime or Cinemax, or maybe
Wow, I'm
Fox.
I'm honestly surprised that either of those. I'm surprised that those three series actually showed anime back in the day.
Those were channels, yes.
Yeah, no, I went to those channels, but like even back then, like I didn't like see them like having a block dedicated to
It
anime.
might have been the other somewhat, if you want to call them off-branded channels that did that. I just remember, I just know Showtime was also responsible for showcasing a lot of Godzilla films too,
Now that
and
I do
and
know.
and Toho movies. A lot of Toho movies and Tokusatsu movies as well. But yeah, I remember GTO being on Showtime for a while.
Man.
That
Man, if I
and Sayoki Reload.
man, if I knew that back then.
Redneck, to answer your question, Redneck, Soul Bianca only has 2 OVAs, and it did have a third OVA planned, but due to it not being successful, it was canceled. They did try to revive it, but nothing really came of it.
Their attempt at reviving the series was through Soul Bianca Legacy, which,
Yeah.
as mentioned earlier, it's a reimagining instead of a continuation of the first OVA.
Of which I had a little taste of it. I'm still not ready for it.
It was not the right way to go, if you want my honest opinion, because Soul Bianca, especially the OVA, it didn't really need a prequel. It should have just continued forward.
Hmm. I mean, they changed a lot of things, even the characters' personalities.
Yeah,
That's
that was quite
but that's
upsetting.
yeah that's yeah. I mean, from what I looked up on Soul Bianca Legacy, I was disappointed. I mean,
I
but
mean,
who knows? Like,
I
who knows?
like
Like,
their designs.
it might have been
Yes.
good. I mean, it might have been good. How? Yeah, at the same time, it's not. It doesn't have the same flair as the original
Hmm.
series.
It's like put it like this. So Bianca, the OVA was Point Break of the '90s, right, or the '80s.
Came out in 1990, but even though it's a 90s anime, you can still see the 80s influence.
I'm saying like
Well,
it's Point Break from the 1990s slash '80s, whereas So Bianca Legacy is Point Break 2011.
Ooh. And
no, it was late '90s and early 2000s.
no,
So Bianca Legacy.
Dominic, what he means is it's like comparing old school Point Break to the new Point Break.
Uh, gotcha.
I mean,
Which
the new Point, which kind of bugs me a little bit because a lot of the major criticisms of the remake of Point Blank, they were all saying, "Oh, this is just Fast and the Furious," and I'm just like, Point Break was Fast and the Furious before Fast and the Furious.
hmm
Yeah, it was the OG Fast and Furious, and even though I distinctly remember watching the trailer for the remake of Point Break. I honestly honestly watch the well, it occurs to me to watch the original Point Break more so than the remake, I actually rewatched it some time ago, and it holds up really well.
man,
It's
it was so
it's
muted.
The
it's
original remake, the original Point Break is better than the remake. The
oh
remake, I don't know what that was.
yeah. I'm also just gonna say it too. It's cheesy 80s, but you love it. You just
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
And it's the only time you ever saw the two legends that are Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, that was what
Hmm.
I was about to say. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, Point Break is like you say, Scooney. It's a guilty pleasure '80s film. It's ridiculous, but you know what? You can't help but to watch it.
Yeah.
And I say the same thing. You just cannot help but to watch it. So I agree
Well,
totally with you
guilty
on that.
pleasures, I'm just gonna say, guilty pleasures are the best of any kind because yes, you can see how terrible they are. Yes, you can see how ridiculous the concept is, but there's just a charm you love about it.
Exactly, and that's why the remake sucked. Like you
Yeah.
said, the remake looked
It had
like
no charm.
Fast and Furious in the ocean is what I like to call
Okay,
it.
let me rephrase that. So Bianca is Point Break of back then,
Hmm.
whereas New Legacy is Fast and the Furious.
Yeah. I think just this is what I liked about also Sol Bianca, the OVA, from what you're describing, is that it isn't trying to set a trend. It's just trying to be a typical action sci-fi adventure.
Right.
And the characters are what
One,
sell this.
one,
Oh, the characters are what sell the OVA, and these are very likable characters. Each
I
one of
know.
them, they're. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Dom.
not only that, it also has a complete story story, and it pays everything out, and everything that was foreshadowed or hint shadowed or established early on, they were paid off in the most meaningful way.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
I mean, it's a
which is
typical.
another aspect in modern entertainment that is that we're missing. Instead of telling a complete story, we're seeing this overuse of decompressed storytelling, whether it's in literature or in movies and TV shows.
Yeah, exactly. It's a traditional three-act structure.
Yeah.
You have your
Well.
beginning.
I mean, in the West, like we have the 3 act story structure. However, in Eastern storytelling, whether it's for literature or in film, they operate in Kisho Tenketsu, which is a 4 act story structure.
Hmm.
You ready to wrap this up?
Yeah, I'm just gonna close by saying that, like I said, the characters were very much enjoyable, and I think what I found intriguing is that they found a way to give all of the characters of the crew of the Soul Bianca, a flat arc story. I mean, every single one of them is the same at the end as they were at the beginning, but you get some layers on these characters. Each and every one of them, like we said, had a distinct personality, but they also all had a bit of humanity. This is how you write female characters.
Well, that's a follow up. That's a follow up because the Sobianca crew have a flat have a flat arc. Their actions left an impact onto to the people and world around them. They
Mhm.
inspire. They give like Rim hope. So and not just like reunite with his family, but also like they inspired him to like he wants to be a space pirate, but like them. No, but he'll be a captain in order to meet up with them again, while at the same time assisting his dad in the resistance.
Exactly. And I even like the bit when May comes to when May comes to save him, and then when he's reunited with April, what does Rim say? He says, um, "I knew you'd come back."
You know what thing I liked about him? He wasn't a dumbass in distress.
No, I mean he was very believable. He was a kid. That
Mm-hmm.
that is that's a kid. That is how you write a kid.
Well, the thing
Mm-hmm.
is that he's not going around trying to rescue himself and putting the crew in danger of looking for his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Much less getting himself in trouble and danger, making it. This is one thing I hate about people when they question damsels in distress or people in captivity. It's like they're expecting them to always get out of the situation and free themselves, but like you're running the risk of them not being able to link up with the people that are trying to rescue them. For one, it's gonna take more time to look for them if by that token they're not essentially walking in the same direction as you are. So it's best for you to stay your ass put.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
if you are capable of breaking out, it's best for you to stay your ass put, so that if should there be a guard right there, and your rescuer is showing up there, you can actually assist your rescuer in getting you out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just makes one wonder what is it exactly that people take issue with with the damsel in distress trope, because like nobody had taken issue with it then, because there is a reason why it has existed for centuries.
It's also a teaching trope.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna
Hmm.
rescue yourself in a hostage situation? Are you gonna rescue yourself if somebody capture you?
Yep.
Assuming that you're in a spot where you're isolated in a cabin where somebody's doing something wrong with you, of course, yes, by all means, try attempt to do that, and then try to look for help when you rescue yourself out of that situation. when it comes to like a place where in a place where we're in a populated area and the police are outright looking for you, especially if you happens to have a TV that's provided to you by your captors and you see on the news that that people are looking for you. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you're not gonna go out of your way. You shouldn't be even going out of your way to rescue yourself in that situation, especially when the local authorities are looking for you. You would want them to come and find you and give you the medical attention that you need. If nothing else, what you could do is send a signal, much like what Black Widow did in fucking Age of Ultron.
Exactly. And that's another thing
Oh
too.
my goodness, that shit got on my nerves when people kept bitching about that shit. What the
Yeah.
fuck was she gonna do?
Not
What
only
was
that,
she gonna do after that?
Yeah. Yeah. I
it's
agree
another thing too
totally.
is that she's in Sarkovia, okay, and it's not known to be a friendly place right now for Avengers. So if she
Right.
Not
escapes,
even that.
she's not
Not
going to
even
be
that.
able to disappear.
It's, well, the thing
It
is,
was also heavily guarded.
that too. Yeah, yeah. It was like what the like what was y'all expecting her to fucking do? But it's outside of signaling for her friends.
Mm-hmm.
Did you forget that she had friends? She had friends.
It pays to have friends.
It's
That's
the
what
reason
they're for.
I'm like
Exactly.
you gonna like this is an Avengers level threat. You. This is the Avengers, not the Avenger.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness! When Age of Ultron came out, like the shit talking about Black Widow being captive and being a Denzel waiting for a man. I'm like, what the, like seriously, what the fuck were you? What imagination were you conjuring up in your head where she outright saves herself and somehow we still get the fucking big action group fight at the end? Like seriously, you. And another thing, the plot needs to move forward, right? See, y'all like two of y'all already left because y'all don't like my take. Anyways,
Yeah.
like, so you telling me she gonna break herself out, find her ass the way back to her friends, and then they're gonna ride their ass way where that's back and forth. It's got to
Mm-hmm.
move forward.
Hmm.
It's got to move
Yeah.
complete. Like, look, I understand. Like, she's a human being. Hawkeye. Here's nothing. Hawkeye will be in there, and I still wouldn't be expecting him to rescue himself, bar none.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna
Hmm.
sit here like freaking Clint. You're a man. Get your ass out of there. No, Clint is not a superhuman. Clint is gonna find a way to signal his friends. He's gonna signal
Mm-hmm.
his friends.
Yeah.
The same thing what Natasha would do.
Yeah. Just like in any give situation, it's best like it is best like to hunker down until like you properly evaluate the environment that you're in and that you're currently being captive. You're currently being held captive, and if there are like tools that are like either left behind or somehow like, hidden like in the cell. So you don't want to like get yourself out like gun blazing until you went from a headless chicken into a completely dead chicken. So,
Yep. And where the fuck are you gonna go once you get
Mm-hmm.
yourself out of there? You can't
yep.
possibly. You're not gonna expect to find a populated area instantly once you escape from your captivity.
Not to mention like there are like multiple factors to take into consideration. Like if you somehow break yourself out of the captivity that you were placed in.
Let's factor
And
into
sorry.
to the whole dehydration and hunger thing. What if your captor didn't feed you that day and you somehow got out? What you gonna eat?
Exactly.
What you gonna
You'll be
drink?
You're not gonna
you'll be
get far.
completely weak.
So I'm saying it's like damn. I'm really getting. I tend to get really sick and tired hearing how the damsel in distress is harmful for women. I'm like,
I'm sorry. How many? I want to ask you like how many classic literature and or fairy tales have you read read and see like how the damsel in distress were utilized back then.
Personally,
As our storyteller
anybody
said,
who
like
makes that fucking
proper
claim,
damseling helps the story.
personally, personally, I would like to take whoever makes those claims about that shit and just put them in a spot where they have to break free.
And not only that, those people are making um, just making an argument for the sake of having an argument because they want to pull you down their rabbit hole of madness.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just put them in a
yeah,
soft
like,
situation and just say, here, you're damsel in distress, but you don't need no man to save your life. Figure it out. Figure
Mm-hmm.
a way out of there.
I mean to say the damsel in distress trope is harmful to women is like saying, oh dang it, hey,
You must never been. You must never been
I
to
have a good
Tijuana,
line.
then, motherfuckers.
Ah,
Apparently,
scary place.
or any dark part of Mexico where they lock your ass up, never to be seen again.
Never again. That's some pretty scary shit.
Oh yeah, big time.
I mean, seriously, dude. Like, the damsel in distress is a real thing in real life, and you want to you want to live your make believe power fantasy where you can get yourself out. Fuck off. I put your ass in a desert and say figure your way out back to civilization. I'll be watching them. Don't worry. I ain't gonna let them die out in the desert. But I tell them like you're out in the desert. You're stuck. You're a damsel in distress. You don't need no man to save your ass. Find a way how to get back home.
Yep.
Put their ass in a cell in a remote location where nobody can find it. Here,
Mhm.
you're a damsel in distress. You don't need no man. Find a way to get out.
Mhm. Okay.
And if
All right. Well.
and if by some miracle they figure it out, I'm be like, okay, where the fuck you gonna go then? You found your way out of your cell. You broke out. Your captor is no longer around. Where are you gonna go now?
Precisely.
Well.
Suddenly
Yeah. Well.
being suddenly being in
Well.
captivity
We can wait.
yeah, I know. I'm like suddenly being in captivity is way more beneficial to you than going out there being free. Sure, we had runaway slaves and all that stuff back in the day. Sure, we had those. Sure, we had the Holocaust survivors and those who escaped some of the concentration camps if they ever got that lucky.
Yeah.
Sure,
We also. And sure. We also have like individuals from the former Soviet Union who risked life and limb to escape from said union and
White Star. We love you too.
defected to either we love
We love you too, Star Storyteller.
yeah
One of these
love
days we're gonna
yeah love you
kidnap you
too.
and put you back on the panel.
Love you.
We miss your voice.
Mm-hmm. What anyway we also have like individuals like
We're gonna provide a
individuals.
limousine and a escort.
Yeah, would be fair.
And we have lost Leia again.
Yeah, what I was saying like continuing with Wolf's tangent. We also have like individuals like from the former Soviet Union who risked life and limb to escape like from the life from Stalin and defect to either the United States or other parts of the world to escape from being executed or worse.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and also what I was also I was able to regain my train of thought. But to say the damsel in distress trope is harmful to women. Women it's like writing villainous characters who are evil for the sake of it is not is like passe. Is passe. Say is they're lying. They're either lying to themselves or like they are oversimplifying of writing like villainous characters who don't have a tragic or sympathetic story. somehow it doesn't make them like well-rounded characters, or even a character with a flat arc.
Precisely.
Yeah, because even characters like with a flat arc, even though like they don't go through a significant character development, they do have layers. They have not only have layers to them, but they also do get development as well. However, like what makes them who they are their principles and their convictions. That
Mm,
doesn't go away.
yeah.
I'll read this. I was gonna wait for Leia to come back, but I'll read this. And Star Storyteller before she left, she said, "Honestly, I think a lot of women want to be rescued in real life from real problems." Oh, never mind. Let me start over again. Star says, "Honestly, I think a lot of women want to be rescued in real life from real problems, at least in fiction that can escape it for a little while."
I wouldn't mind
Leia, you
being
still with
rescued.
us?
Don't, but isn't that doesn't diminish me as a woman.
All right.
Somehow, I don't know how they. It's just no. It's just this whole they want to attack the system, and then they want to put a new system in place where they're on top because somehow that's
We're
this is
coming for you, Leia.
this is another grotesque. They want to put a new. They want to eliminate the new system. Put the new.
Where is Leia?
Leia's right here.
No,
I
you
come
didn't
to
Come
catch
save
on,
you.
come on, Wolf. Wolf, go easy on her. Come on, man.
I had to.
Hey, hey,
Scooty,
hey, man. Lay off. Lay off. Showing off. Lay off the eye candy.
I couldn't help it. Scooty had walked right into it.
You, you did. Sorry.
Well, I just was going to say you're right about that. They're trying to make it seem like when a man wants to protect you and rescue you, that makes you weak. I feel that's what a man is supposed to do. That's what God
Mhm.
put their muscles in their body to do. So I would
Um,
love it more than anything to have a wonderful Hulk come and rescue and protect me. That's what a man
a
is
man,
supposed to do.
a man does not rescue a woman because he feels that she is weak. Okay, he rescues her because she is the most important thing to him.
That's
Not
team
That,
not
from
not
my
only
values.
not only that, but it's just the right thing to do, regardless of the sex, race, political persuasion, or whatever. Rescuing anybody is just feels good.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
With that
And
being
that's something.
said, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. Those 10 of you and those 11 nines and some motherfuckers that keep popping in and out. Thank you, Leia, for indulging us and hearing us gush about this anime. The lovely Leia Valor, Leia plus size everyone.
hello, everybody. This is Plus Size, your lovely lady of valor. I didn't have much to say, but I did enjoy these gentlemen expressing their passion for this anime, and hopefully, I will get a chance to sit down and watch it. And when I do, I will definitely let you guys know and this panel as well how much I enjoyed it. But it's always great to hear them rant about the passion. And if you guys have a suggestion for a topic you want us to rant about, please put it in the comments below. I'm sure Wolf would appreciate it. And you all have a very good evening. I'll see you next time.
The Hound of the South, Donick Powell.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us in tonight's live stream. Make sure comment, and subscribe to Wolf 10 Media. If you got any other like anime, manga, comic books, or anything that you want us to go over in the future, make sure you put it down in the comment section down below. Do not hesitate. And remember, even though like things are getting darker, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Never lose hope or idealism to a brighter future, but live in the past and never forget. Live in the present, but never forget the past. This is the Hound of South, Dominic Powell, signing off. Hope you all have a good rest of your night.
Schooner Tuna, Schooner Tuna.
Coming at you live from a secret government facility buried deep underground but has excellent Wi-Fi, this is Schooner Tuna. And if you liked what we covered tonight and you want to hear us cover any more anime, let us know in the comments section. And until that time, this is Schooner Tuna signing off, but I want you to listen to me. If you truly believe in the dreams that you hold in your heart of hearts, then use your eyes to see, and your course will be swift and true. I urge you to believe. This is Schooner Tuna signing off. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Print that. Look, print that on your wall as motivation.
Yes, that is a good way to sign off. Oh, you just had to say that right at the time he put that up. You said put that on your wall for your motivation, and well, there you go. That's world's
Also,
motivation.
Motivation, zeal, tenacity,
Oh goodness, I had to open up those.
endurance. Spin, welcome into Wolf Town once again, letting you guys know that you are the UN Space Sea. Welcome to the Wolf Fleet.